Hey, I'm Cyclon, and this is my beginner guide, part 1, Preparation. So, Path of Exile is a huge game, has a lot of complexity, and while it's beatable without any preparation, without any research and setup, having additional tools, utility stuff, makes it a whole lot easier. Now, I want to go through what I'm using as a compact list, because when I started, I listened to, watched 8 hours of total video footage of different guides, different build guides and whatnot. So you don't have to do that. I want to put it as compact as possible. And with that, I will head right in. The first things first, filter blade. Here's providing a tool of filters, which are really essential in PoE, because if you don't have them, your whole screen is going to get cluttered. Because what you see there right now on the screen, you will see everywhere. Late game, there will just be so much loot on the screen. So there is this site, filter blade XYZ, or XYZ I guess in English, which gives different strictest level. If you simulate them, you will see that out of those loot you will only see something. If you go like super strict, you won't see anything, except the good stuff of course, and if you go really low, you will see more. So you can just go to the page, choose the color palette you like, click on download, download all, and in game you can go to your options, go to game, click open your filter folder, drop in there all the filters you want. You can just drop them in their text files, and they will appear in this drop down. Or you can also go over the website and subscribe to them, so they're always up to date. So that is being filter blade. You do that because you really don't want to see all the loot. It's going to slow you down if you pick everything up, and later on you can't even pick everything up, you don't have enough portals. So yeah, really want to get the loot filter. Next thing is Awaken PoE Trade. It's a tool that allows you to, first thing, one quality of life feature. Normally you can't scroll through your stashes if you hold shift while you're on the stash, but not while outside with the cursor. Well, with this tool you can do that. I have my mouse over my inventory and I can still scroll through my inventory tabs. And it extends. I can do that in the Crucible thing too. I can do that in the Guild Stash. So yeah, with this tool you can scroll through pretty much any stash. It's a huge quality of life feature, and there's an additional feature, pricing items. Pricing items can be quite hard. Why? Uniques, they have a price and then they have a higher price if they're close to perfect. With this you can see that price. Getting rares priced is a bit harder. With Awaken PoE Trade, you can say, hey, price me rares rare based just on the energy shield, or energy shield plus intelligence, and then the price, it looks for stuff that has similar stats, at least of the minimum value. With this you can price rares. Of course you don't need to look at every rare, but this will come with over time and experience, that you know which items you should look into. Hey, this might be worth something. That really just needs own experience and a lot of trial and error. And the last thing I want to recommend before I go into, hey, now you need to watch out for spoilers, is Path of Building, in this case community fork. There used to be a non-community fork, but that person was recruited by GGG and doesn't have enough time to always keep it up to date. So we are now the community working together to make PoB. PoB, you can plan your build, you can see the damage numbers, you can make different trees. Oops, that was one too far. You can look your skill gems up, you put your items in, you say what buffs you have, and it shows you your damage. That would be the extended feature. But there is another good thing for Path of Building. Every build guide out there at this point is giving you a Path of Building that you can just import over here, either per code or from a website, based on what they give. and then you can take a look at it and you can tinker around with the build you got just sent, or if it has a leveling section like this one, like the one I made, you can say, okay, yes, so this is what I need to, the steps I need to follow to get through this build to get to endgame. So either if you want to make your own builds or if you want to follow any build, passive building Community Fork is a great tool. It shows you damage, survivability calculations. Like in this case, the effective HP of this build against physical damage would be 6,000, 63,000. God, numbers. Sorry. Okay, all that out of the way, now we get into the territory where there might be spoilers, as I will have this one in the background again. These are essentials that I would say everybody needs. After this one are optional tools that just make things easier, but aren't really needed. So, quick moment for those who want to leave because of spoilers. Great, let's continue. So, there are two tools I would consider. One is the Chaos Recipe Enhancer tool. It's basically, you take a filter and it updates the filter and shows you which items you need for the Chaos Recipe. I'm going to make a separate video about that and about currency making at some point, where I will go in further detail how to do that. But for now, just know that this tool is out there. It is not needed, and for beginners it might be a bit too complicated. So for now, just know there's Chaos Recipe. If you're interested, watch a video about it. I hope at the moment you watch it, my video will be up. And the other is Enki's build guide. Now, while it's a build guide, it's more like something that leads you through the whole campaign. He takes your hand with that build guide and just goes with you step by step what you need to do where in campaign. It's super good for your first playthrough through the campaign and the early maps. Get accustomed to the game and to get a build. It's not the best build out there, but still, it will be able to get you through the stuff. I don't know up to which point at the moment. Back when I did it, I got up to I think 8 maps, so up to yellow tier maps, which was at that point quite good. So yeah, I will leave a link to these two tools in the description. And lastly, let's take a look at the websites. So there is an official trade website. I'm not going to go over great detail in this. I will make a separate video for trading and stashes at a later point. For now, know that there is an official trade website where you can search for any item and you can message people if you want to buy said item. Now, next is Grinding Zone. Grinding Zone is a compilation of all the sites, everything that's up there. There you see Passive Building Community Tool. There you see Awakened PoE Trade. And where's Filter Blade? There is Filter Blade. Like, everything is there. So this is a great hub to just save if you don't have enough space in your bar to save for links. Just save this one and you can get with this to any other space. Next, PoE Ninja. PoE Ninja is a site that looks at the market and tells you an about value of items. Those may vary because on the market are price fixers that will affect this site. Or for example, if you take a look at bases, that's beast, that's not bases. Base type sales will always be influenced by crafted sales, so those might vary as well. That being said, it's a great tool. It also has a build section or streamer section. If you have a streamer you're following, you can check what builds they do use. On this build section you can look at popular items, popular skills for necromancers. It's a really great site to use if you look for interesting builds that don't have a build guide, or to look at when you have a build, you're already pretty deep in it and just want to see what are other people doing with this build, how can I improve beyond what my build guide or my build was planned to have. Next we have PoEDB. It's pretty much just all the data we have about Passive Exile, be it the rates of crafts, the monsters and what they do if you have them as a Spectre, for any unique, and really just a lot of information. What I mainly use it for at this point is when I look for Spectres that are interesting, I look at PoEDB, what the stats of those monsters are and if they are usable as a Spectre. Next, Craft of Exile. This one is a great tool if you want to start crafting your items yourself. You can take any item, let's say I want a strength armor, put an influence on it and see the chances that I will maximum life with alteration orbs. It includes almost any crafting method at this point. It includes the rates of craft, it gives you an average spending. You can do very complex stuff with it too, but that goes beyond this video, so I will just leave it at that. This site will help you craft items. Absolutely amazing. Wonderful genius who made this site. PoE Profit from the YouTuber Grimro is an amazing site. It shows you with what thing you could make what kind of profit. I won't go into detail here, it's pretty self-explanatory. Go take a look at it later on when you're in maps and just use it a bit. See, so keep in mind the numbers there might vary because they're not fully up to date, at least at this point. Now, 3 last things on the list. We got Rayclast. This one is a compilation of guides for different league mechanics. For example, the Syndicate, so with Jan, which master is in which, or with which syndicate member in which area gives the best result. Or we have Heist, which member has what thing and what rewards this gives. Or lastly, in Expedition, for Gwennen, what unique has what bait type. It's really just for each league mechanic that comes out, they put out, if there is a comprehensive thing to know about it, this site will have it eventually. Now, not lastly, 2 more things. PoE Lab. This one gives you an overview of the labyrinth, of the room layout, and if there is a fast way in yellow, like here. And dark shrines in pretty much everything. Why you don't, like, early on, use it. It's really good. Later on, when you can read the lab on yourself, you don't really need it anymore. But early on, I definitely recommend looking at the site, getting a feel for how the lab is. And lastly, we have Elisha. Elisha is a YouTuber and I think streamer at this point too, who makes crafting guides. He also has a spreadsheet, but I thought not just going to link his spreadsheet, I'm going to link his YouTube instead, where he shows you how to craft endgame items the simplest and most consistent way possible. And he's really insane at crafting. So that being said, yeah. If you want to craft your own items because you don't have enough currency to buy them, take a look at this. So this is all the sites I am using and the different purposes. I didn't went in great detail about most of them, but I think it is helpful to have them in the back of your mind when you realize, oh, I'm doing lab. Let's check out PoE lab. Or, hey, there is this item. I don't want to spend a lot, but how much chaos would I spend if I have to chaos spam it? Just to get, let's say, T1 dot multi. Or what item level does this require? Yeah. Those are the tools I use. I hope they were helpful for somebody. If I missed any tool, please make a comment, say, hey, you missed tool X, you missed tool Y, tool Y. Or if it was helpful, please leave a like, and I will be very grateful. That being said, have a great day.